Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Foul Language Podcast. Yes, sir. Clap it up. Today, as you can see, yes, so today, we got a YouTube video. We got a video going on right now. So, if you're listening on like Apple Podcast, Spotify, all that, it's not gonna change that much. But if you're on YouTube, you can now see us do the podcast. See us do it. We got all the setups going. Aiden's got his setup. I got my setup.
Hey, yo, my setup real nice. My setup looking real good. You got me chilling over here. Got the graduate chilling over there. We got TV going with whatever we want. Basketball's over there. You see the kicks. You see the kicks over here. You see moi again. Like I got fireplace going. I got a good little setup going here. So I really can't complain. Like I look good. You know, me and that Jordan drip too. So I look good.
Good.
I look
Yeah.
good.
I
We're
don't know.
working on
Mine's just hella simple. I got a door, a mirror,
Nah, I mess with that. I
lights,
mess with that.
and a bed.
I mess with that. I
See?
mess with that. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, yo, we back. We took us a long time, but we are back with
it
the
did.
podcast. A lot of technical difficulties. Holy. When I tell you we had to work out through so much, this is like keep it real with everyone. This is like our fourth week trying to record this podcast. But every single time something's not right, we keep messing up something. And I don't want to put out half-baked stuff or stuff that isn't really that good. So here we are, finally got it figured out, and we finally
Yeah.
got you with real podcast authenticity. I mean, for real, you and me, we kind of the next JJ Redick in the podcasting.
Next
Here's
JJ
the
Redick.
difference. Those homies, like I'm pretty sure, like Duncan Robinson and JJ and all those guys who have podcasts, they only got one hooper and like one media guy. Because I don't really know too much about the other homie, but us, we're both hoopers, so
I'm
we got
saying.
a
I'm
different take.
saying.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna look good. But yeah, man, we got a whole lot to get into. It's been weeks upon weeks since we had an episode, so there's so much to talk about. First, though, I want to congratulate, shout out to my main man Kashi Agoji on his commitment to the University of British Columbia. Um, Long time coming. Cash, a hard worker. You guys at UBC, you got a good one. I got nothing but positives to say about my man. I just feel bad he didn't get an actual high school season where he really could have shown off his talents, but you guys are getting someone good. It's really smart. People that don't know Cash, he's really smart. So that'll be good for him. And then I mean, who knows? I think what I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna put the offer out to all the other Western homies, and if they want to get on the pod and announce where they're going, I'll give them that opportunity. So if we, or I guess anyone really, if anyone wants to ever come announce where they going, feel
Yeah.
free. Send us an invite. We'll send you an invite. We can work it out because I got a lot of guests planned. I got a lot of homies coming on the pod. So I'm excited for the direction of this. Now that we got videos and all
Yeah.
that, it's gonna look real good. But yeah, man, shout out my man Cash getting that UBC Thunderbirds commitment. I mean, I guess I would say that from my school, from Western, probably the most people go out of like U Sport schools. UBC is probably the most popular. I mean, off the top of my head, it's Cash, Toby, and Jordan. But I feel like there's another one that I'm forgetting. But I mean, Jordan was what captain there for 3 years, played all 5 years. Now homie's on that national 3-on-3 team. So shout out my man. I really gotta try and get Jordan on the podcast. That'd be a sweet episode. Um, but yeah, so shout out to my man Cash. Another big news, actually, just happened the other day, is the athletic director at the University of Calgary resigned. Keen, do you know that?
I actually did not know that.
So the athletic director, he took up a job at Edge. So now he's working. Apparently, he's working back at Edge. Apparently, he was at Edge a while ago, and now he's going back. But we no longer have an athletic director. Our assistant is taking up the interim role right now. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if you had any thoughts on that, or you know any homies that are gonna try go for that job. But I guess if anyone listening to the pod knows someone who wants to be a university athletic director, make sure there's your in. Make sure you tell them that your boys sent you, and make sure to increase that basketball budget. But anything other than that, I don't really got too much else to speak on that. It's weird though. Like I didn't know Jason that well. I met him a couple times. Um, and I had nothing but positive. I figured out he's been super involved in basketball. So it was always kind of nice to have like an AD who like played, who hooped and stuff, who kind of understood basketball. Like it just kind of like helps, that someone up top knows what you're going through. So hopefully we don't get, I don't know, like a hockey homie who just pulls up and then just decides to go all in on the hockey program or something. I don't know. I can't even hate too much. I don't even know any hockey players. Maybe one, but Like, Kian, like, do you know? Like, I don't know how big university hockey is. You know how big it is?
I know there's isn't there like some like junior league or whatever that they go and play for instead of going to like university? But
I
I
don't know. My
have no
manager at the
idea.
bar tried to tell me a whole bunch of times how the system works, and I'm sorry, Pete. I keep forgetting every single time. I forget every single time. I go home and he's poof, just flies right out of my mind. But nah, it'll be interesting to see because I really don't know what the credentials are to be an athletic director. I don't know like what that looks like. If that's like you're a head coach at some point and then that's how you switch up, or you got to be an AD somewhere else, or kind of how that all works. So I don't know. It's gonna be real interesting to see how this all unfolds. But I mean, the leadership's still been pretty good in his absence. I don't know if he was involved with the current return to play rules, but as of this, um, I will be hooping on Tuesday. We finally got our gym back. It's been a couple weeks late. Um, just a lot of people promising stuff, but not being able to keep promises, and it not being their fault. People making promises based on other people's promises, based on other people's promises, and then it just trickles down. And then us, the athletes, are the ones who were promised gym time and all this, but then we never get it. But you know what? I'm not here to complain because I finally get the gym tomorrow. That's all I wanted is just to hoop because I, I'm gonna keep it real. Keen, you can pitch in, but I actually, if you got any thoughts, or you can put them in quickly. But I think it's been real tough not having like actual like basketball these past couple months.
Yeah, I mean, you've been stuck just complaining. You've just been complaining for the past 3 months, but nah,
Bro,
it's
I
like
had no ball.
definitely like school wise is like you always look forward to playing basketball and stuff. And especially at a new school for me, I feel like me going to play basketball is like it's gonna be nice and like a good opportunity. But it's also just like fun, right? Well, it's like basketball. It just like brings people together while this like situation is like breaking people apart.
I feel
So
that. I feel that.
yeah.
I mean, like I don't know. I'm working on a film about like how tough it is being away from ball. I don't know if it'll ever get posted or anything. But like, if I was to tell you, hey, you got to go a year without ball, and now I'm not just talking. I get you can be in the gym, like practicing or shooting on a hoop. I'm talking about actual games. I'm talking about real basketball, right? Because going in the gym and having to practice, but knowing you're not playing is not the same. When you know that you got a game in 3 weeks or whatever, or 3 months, whenever you start, that's way different. The competitiveness is way more intense, and like it matters, right? And so and you and me, there's a different type of, I don't know if it's adrenaline or feeling or what it is from actually playing in a game, right? Anyone who can probably relate that to any sort of thing can relate to when they're in kind of that zone and they're really enjoying the moment, then they're really happy and they just love it. But we've been like, that's been taken away. Like it's coming up a couple weeks and it'll be a year since I played an actual basketball game. And the worst part is I know homies who have been longer. Um, I think for me Yang, it'll be close to 2 years. So
Well, I
rip for my
mean,
guy Ming Young, but I don't know.
well, especially with not playing a game, right? Because you practice for one to get better, but two, so that you can win games, right? And so if you just have nothing to work towards, right, and you just practicing, right? It's not going to be as competitive and as you're not going to work as hard as if, for example, let's say you have a game. Like if you have like a if you wanted the playoffs, right, and you're trying to win like cities or something, right, or win like the playoffs, right? You're gonna go hard in practice, right? And you're gonna go hard and you're gonna challenge each other, right? But now since we just don't have anything to play for, it's kind of just like, well, like people are just like, well, what am I practicing for? Right. And it's not even intentional. It just happens, right? Because nobody has the same mindset that, oh, we
Yeah.
gotta go, we gotta come to practice and practice hard so that we can win. Right. It's, oh, I gotta go to practice to get better.
And I would say that it's not even like the winning's huge, but it's what the winning can do for you, right? Like I'm in the position now because of the winning. Like I don't think if my team had that strong of a high school season, we wouldn't be here. I don't think if Ming Young's team and their edge team had that good of a run, he wouldn't be where he is today, or those other people would be where they are, right? Like it's success matters. So those people who basically don't even get the opportunity to have success, like I feel real bad for my grade 12s because they just have had no real way to show off to universities or anything. Like it's really all about what plugs you got. Maybe if someone on IG is making you look good. But then again, coaches really don't care about that. So it's been a real, like, I feel bad for them because they're taking away A, the competitiveness that you just get from hooping, and B, the success that can come from it. So, I mean, you just got to all kind of stay patient and see where it goes. But it's looking up. I know I said it before. I really think it's starting to look up now. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. I'm gonna focus on tomorrow. I can't wait to go tomorrow. I think me and Cole, shout out Cole, we gotta get Cole on the pod here pretty
We,
soon.
we gotta get my man Cole on the podcast.
Yeah, for real, for real. I gotta give him some merch or something. He's been loyal. There's a bunch of people I gotta. If we when we do that
Thanks.
merch, we
Yeah.
gotta get it out to people. But shout out my man Cole. I think we're spending like half an hour in the gym tomorrow, so I'm mad excited for that. I cannot wait. But yeah, like I know you've been in the gym with Clearwater a couple times and have been shooting around, but like it's not the same as actually like preparing for a game and all that. But
Yeah.
who knows? I think we'll get back to it sooner than later.
Well, I know it's
Um,
weird because like I know like what we're doing like for tryouts or something or like whatever they're like because they're trying to like because they don't want to have the same kids on the same team like twice in a row, right? Because like people can obviously get better, right?
yeah.
But it's not gonna be a real tryout. I think it's like one person per hoop, and that's how they do it. I mean, I have no idea how it's gonna
So
work out.
they're having spring tryouts here pretty soon.
Well, I don't know. I think I like for right now for us, it's kids on my team and then kids on the lower team on the two team are the only people because they've been signed up, right? So they got put into these gym times and there's like six of them, so they're all gonna each get their own basket.
And then you're basically just probably doing skill work of whatever the coach says. And
Yeah, well, whoever the
that see
coach is.
that's tough though because there's some things that like you don't do that you don't maybe show off your skills real well, but like things that happen in an actual game that are super valuable, and those are really show them. Like Draymond Green is like the far example of that, but there's things he does in the game that you can't show that in a drill where you're doing layups,
Hmm.
right? Like even me, for example, years of my basketball career was not that I was dropping 20 points or that I was blocking five shots or crossing people up. It was that I was doing things in the game that maybe the the average casual fan would never notice, but real homies that knew basketball would be like, he knows like he's doing some stuff here, right? Like it's little things like running the floor, keeping it spaced so other people can attack on defense where you're standing and where you're allowing people to help and all that, right? Like it's different things that you can't show in a simple drill. It's things that just come out in the game, and you got to have that IQ and that basketball knowledge.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's good. That'll be an interesting situation. And then also, I don't think anyone knows like where you're playing. Like I don't know. Club basketball's gonna be in a weird spot.
Yeah.
Um, especially with I remember a while back there was a case filed against a Genesis coach or something like that. I didn't read too much into it, so I won't speak on it too much. But um, if that could be a scary situation for some parents, maybe I don't know about that. But that's enough about that basketball. The real thing I want to real quick touch up on is we've been out of the NBA talk for a minute. A lot of stuff has been going on. Firstly, before we get into some big stuff, my Raptors made a comeback. Start of the year, not looking good. Not at all. We had a terrible start. I'm talking terrible. We were looking terrible, straight booty cheeks. But here we are. We made an insurgence. Chris Boucher, shout out Chris, Montreal's finest. He's been hooping, maybe in the conversation for six man of the year. I don't know. I might be pushing that one. Um, but they're back, and I think they're the fifth or sixth seed at the time of recording this, and we're only a couple games into the All Star break. So I'm real happy that my Raptors turned it around. My only issue is like we still don't have that real crunch time scorer who's gonna like get us a bucket because I know Pascal's missed at least five spin move turning layups the past couple minutes,
Five, five,
something like that.
five.
So, or you think
No,
it's
ma,
more or less?
it's at least like 20.
With spin move Pascal. Um, but no, I don't know. Shout out to my Raptors being real good. But the other question I wanted, Kian, how much of the Utah Jazz have you watched?
Actually, not a lot.
So here,
I've been hella busy with school.
so I mean, we haven't watched the crazy amount of NBA, but the Utah Jazz are the best team in basketball right now. They are playing at an insane level right now. I think they've won. I think they won 20 out of 21 games or something like that. They're playing at a crazy good pace. Nobody knows if you go to school tomorrow and they're like, yo, the Utah Jazz, I guarantee you, 7, maybe 8, maybe even 9 out of 10 people will be like, "What the Jazz? Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, those guys? What?" But it's just because the media, no one's hyped them up, and I think that's where this real kind of conversation goes to is how much media and social media, probably in particular, influences like basketball. I don't know. Like, I
Well,
don't
I
know.
mean, the thing that the Jazz have done and that I've seen is like I don't think they've made a big like they don't make like they haven't like made any big trades or free agencies, right? They've stuck together, which a lot of NBA teams don't do.
Yeah,
Like, for example, right? Like some teams are like, oh, we lost the game, boom, you go to that team, right? Oh, we didn't perform. Oh, you bang, all star traded. We're like, we're tanking, right?
yeah,
Oh, we might have a shot. No, you're gone. Like if they lose a game, they're just like bang, 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 bang. Like, it's like firing everybody all over the place. Where the Jazz have been like, well, we made playoffs, right? We did well, right? We're gonna keep the same core guys, right? And we're just gonna keep going, and it's worked for them.
See, so my question is, what if you do that and it doesn't work? Because I think we're starting to see that with the Milwaukee Bucks a little bit, because they've kind of kept the same squad: Giannis, Chris Middleton, Brook Lopez. I don't know how long Brook Lopez has been there, but they've had a real similar squad for the past, I don't know, 7 years maybe.
Well, the Bucks. It's not like they're doing bad though, right?
No, but
Like they're
they when
like
they
they've always like they're always making it like far in the playoffs, right? And in the like regular season, they're beating everybody, right? Like they're always a top team, right? And so, like to me, it's just I don't like right. I think like people have noticed though, like they've noticed the Bucks and they've like said, oh, this team's a good team, right? But they're also that other team, like because the Jazz is on the East, I think, yeah, no, the West,
they're West, yeah,
yeah, West. I don't know why I said this. So they're on the West, and the Bucks on the East, but they're like they stuck together, so that's why they're doing well. That's just my theory though.
yeah,
Like there could be
exactly.
something else going on, but
Like I don't know, like how do you know the point when a squad you've been sticking with for 8 years, you need to blow it up? Like how do you decide that? Like
you
is
just
Giannis?
decide it.
I know, like
Like
that, but that's a tough
maybe
thing.
one time, maybe just wake up like because it's gotta be on the people's minds, right? On like the on like the coaches' minds or the managers' minds, right? About oh,
Yeah,
is this really working, right? Because it's always on their minds. I feel like if I was an NBA manager, I would always think about like, oh, is my team good? What can I do to get them better? What
that's
should we
kind of their
do?
job, though. That's basically
Right?
their
Yeah.
job.
So I think that they always have in their mind what should we do? Like what should we do next? Right. And if
Yeah,
you're one of those managers who's kept those core guys, then that what's next is should we keep it? Right.
yeah,
Because if we don't because like and I feel like it's just like a decision that they just make and they live with. Right. Because I just for me, I feel like there's just not like a way to tell. Right. Because if you like, for example, the Bucks, right, if you're going far in the playoffs, right, why would you break it up, right? But if you're like a team like the Suns or whatever, right, who've been hooping, right, but nobody's really seen the Suns go to like the semi, like the finals or the conference finals, right? So is in my opinion, if I was, it would just be like I wake up and I decide. Like it'd be like over multiple days, and then I'm just like, all right, we're
I,
doing it.
yeah. I don't think that would be a 1 day decision. You just wake up, be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna just trade half the team because we didn't win last year. I think that would probably be like a week long thing where you're like, you know what? I've done some hard thinking, and we keep losing in the conference finals, and we just can't get over that hump. It's been at least 6 years now. I mean, Giannis has been losing to the Raptors for a decent amount of years. I think he lost to Boston last year or something like that, or no, Miami. No, did they lose to Miami? Who did Milwaukee lose to? I think they lost to Miami, but like I don't know. It's a tough
Yeah,
situation
yeah.
because
No,
I
no,
think
they lost. Yeah, they lost to Miami.
it was Miami in the second round. I think it was 4-2 or something. I don't remember, but that's a tough thing to know. Like when your squad is at a point where you need to cut it off. And I guess maybe college basketball doesn't have that problem. And I'll explain to you why. Is that there's a time limit on how long guys can play. Like I was kind of thinking about this the other day, and the squad that's coming up, me, McYoung, Noah, shout out my guy Jay. like all us young guys, we're gonna be a completely different team than what the team last year was, with the team with Cap and Mombi and Brett and all them and Lars. Like we're gonna be a different team than that. And so I guess college basketball doesn't have to rely on the fact that we have these guys that can play forever. Well, no, we're getting new players every now. So our team's going to continue to evolving. And maybe that's the reason why college basketball is so hard to have long-term success in. Maybe why something like Carleton's crazy run or Duke's crazy run is just like one of the best, I guess, success stories in sports. Like I guess we could apply that to high school basketball too. Like I don't know how long, I don't know my Calgary high school basketball history that far, but how many times has a team really won, been like a high school dynasty? Like there's definitely teams in the city that are better for basketball. Like if you're going to McNally or Lacombe or Bob, like those are or Churchill, I guess. Those are like I don't know about Churchill. We'll have to see how that goes. They'll be like those are basketball schools, so I guess people would go there with basketball in mind. But we've never seen kind of like a dynasty where a team is a high school team has won like 6 championships straight or something like that. I know Edmonton might be a little different because I know the rules, the transfer rules, and all that, and the out of area rules are way different up there than they are in Calgary. So maybe that's why we see just dominant high schools and stuff like that up there. Whereas in Calgary, where it's all zone locked and where you live is a way of, I don't know, just floating different types of players and different types of schools and not allowing any dynasties. I don't know. The other thing that's been real bugging me is just the the crazy amount of news and stuff that's been going on in music. Like I don't know, like it was like the last week has been crazy for music. It was like RIP to Woo. It was Pop Smoke's 1 year since he passed away. Real tragic. It was Rihanna's birthday. We just got told Daft Punk got split up today, and that Bobby Shmurda is free tomorrow. I don't know anybody who was on that walkout. I didn't do it because our teacher like locked the door on us. But whoever was in that walkout, just know that school walkout, it paid off. He's free. I cannot wait for his return to music. If he drops
All
a
I'm
single,
saying,
an
all
EP,
I'm
or an
saying,
album, that's gonna go
if
crazy.
he drops, I can't wait because if he drops a first day out song, that's number one.
Oh, that's
That's reaching number
crazy.
one. That's
That's
reaching
like
number one.
that's an all-time music moment. Forget
Yeah.
hip hop and rap. Forget nowadays. That's an all-time music because we've been freaking scream Bobby forever. The favorite thing that popped in my timeline was I don't know if you ever see that game where Reggie Jackson's shooting free throws and the crowd goes Bobby Schmurda. They start chanting it, and then the homie Reggie Jackson does the shmoney dance while he's shooting free throw. It was so funny.
Yeah.
It's my man self-aware. He does kind of look like Bobby Schmurda though, and I love that. I don't know if y'all see the meme where they got it's got to be like a Marvel movie where like Thor's hammer comes from space and then it comes back on Earth and Bobby catches his hat, but they like Photoshop the hat onto the hammer, and it's so funny. His hat coming back. I'll rewatch that video today, and he tosses the hat and it's just gone. Like you don't know where it goes. Confuses me to this day. Uh,
It's going off.
that's a goated. That's just a goated moment in history. I guess we missed about talking about music. We've been off for so long. The Super Bowl happened. The weekend's performance, and how dope that was. I loved it. I would call myself a fan of the weekend. Not like a stan, like I know every single little thing, but I was really happy with some of the songs he did. The only song I really wanted, my favorite song from After Hours was it's close. It's either Alone Again or Faith, and I really wanted him to open with Alone Again and then somehow transition into Faith, but he didn't do either of those songs. So I mean, it is what it is. But I don't know. I thought that performance was amazing.
Mhm.
I
Well,
thought
it was one of the first times we've seen an actual like performance because he had the entire field to do what he wanted, right?
everything
Like
right.
yeah, he had like behind the like inside the stadium and the
Yeah,
entire field. Like he must have brought out like 200 dancers or whatever and just
that was
scattered
so good.
them more like is all across the entire field. Like it's not just like Shakira and like J-Lo just twerking on a stage, right?
Hey,
Or
that was
Trav
fuego though.
or
I was loving that. That
or,
was
or
crazy.
Travis Scott just like walking around in a circle, right? It's like it was an
That was
actual
amazing.
it was an actual performance that he did, and I thought it was dope.
I agree with you. I think it was crazy because people were split on it. Like half the people thought it was amazing and other people hated it. I was like, first off, I was like, I don't know how you could hate that. I thought it was real good, but I was just surprised at how split people were. And I guess maybe that's just where we are today, where people are crazy split. Um, it's crazy. We've really been gone for a minute. The Brooklyn Nets have made a huge appearance. They just did a West Coast sweep. They went on a road trip for 6 games and they just swept. I think they played the Lakers, the Clippers. I don't really remember who else they played. Maybe they played Portland. I don't remember, but they just played. I know they played 6 West Coast teams and they beat them all. So does that mean that the Nets are the champ favorites now?
I mean, there's still the Jazz.
I'm really curious. I still like. I think everyone, even like the analysts who are looking at the Jazz, they're going, you know what? Right now, they're doing real good. Like they're playing amazing, but there's no way they can keep it up for the entire regular season and then postseason. Because we've seen
Mhm.
this, like the 73-9 Warriors are the perfect example of a regular season team that went crazy and then ran out of gas in the playoffs. Right? Like those
Mhm.
veteran teams, like the Lakers right now. I wouldn't say the Clippers to an extent. Um, I don't think Boston either because I don't think Boston has that type of. Um, they have some experience, but not that type of, I guess, knowledge to kind of slow down. But those teams, they're not crazy in the regular season because they know the playoffs are what they're playing for. So, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, I just don't see the Jazz really holding on that long. Rudy Gobert's been playing real good ever since Shaq dissed him on that one NBA and TNT interview. Rudy Gobert just picked it up. I think he was. Oh no, it was Donovan Mitchell too. I don't remember. Shaq was going crazy. I know he dissed Donovan, but I think he might have dissed Rudy Gobert too. Just not like in the Jazz at all. And the Jazz go 20-game win streak. You got Keaton, you got anything on your mind that's real busting you want to talk about?
It's been a minute because we actually did an entire podcast before this. It was
Yeah.
we did it the day after the Super Bowl, right? And so then we tried recording it with this whole bunch of stuff, and then it didn't come out well. Like the audio was all messed up, right? The camera and everything worked, but the audio and everything was messed up and it was finicky and it was hard to like time it because we had to
Right.
like record differently. And it was like the one thing that I will say that I've just like noticed is that every like 12 episodes we make a change,
Yeah.
right? For the first like 12, maybe like first 12, maybe 14 episodes, me and you were in the basement
Yeah.
right beside each other, garage band microphones talking, right?
That's a good time.
We would look and then you would have to like cut out the sound of when we went to let the dogs out because I would always draw my microphone and run around the place and you would cut out the drop, right? But it was
Shout out my editing skills for that one. That was
yeah.
crazy.
And then after that we upgraded. We took another little break and then we went to Discord and
Mm-hmm.
that worked out well. We recorded everything that worked out well. Shout out to my boy Craig.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Craig
we
was
miss him. We miss him. Um,
shout out.
and then now we splitting it up. We got the camera and everything.
Yeah, I
But
don't know. I'm really liking to see how this is going.
yeah,
Like that's the one thing is I don't want to put like I'm real sorry to everyone who's been waiting on it for I guess it's been 4 weeks or whatever since we put out an episode. But I don't really want to put out anything. Maybe it's just my like I don't call it perfectionism, but just my like wanting to do good. That I
yeah.
don't want to put out something half baked. Like I want to put out good stuff. And sadly, like I see these podcasts all the time that pull up on my YouTube and all that, and I see the quality they got, and I want to have that same quality. Issue is that we don't exactly have the same money those type of people have putting in. Like our whole setup I don't think is worth a Yeti mic, right? Like you got to keep it real. They're
What?
not.
What? I wouldn't say that.
Maybe
How much is a Yeti mic? $300?
probably 250 is my guess.
Oh,
Yeah,
we pushing it.
I know. So
We're up there.
right, but like if we had that type of money, maybe be better, maybe be worse. Who knows? But I don't know. I'm just happy to get back and start speaking my mind on stuff that pulls up. Um, especially like the other night, it just popped into my head because I know I wanted to talk about this in the pod when it happened. And I just remembered that other day with Draymond Green and the refs. The NBA refs have gotten so soft recently. Did
Hmm.
you see JJ
Yeah.
Redick get kicked out of the game? Who are they playing? I forget who they were playing. So JJ Redick had a tee earlier in the game. Probably he was, I don't know, in one of the refs' ear or something. Probably too much. Ref tees him up. Then with like I don't know 2 minutes left, the Pelicans come back down 21, close game. Timeout's called by either team, and JJ has the ball and he passes it to the ref. When he passes it, he puts like a little spin on the ball so that way because he couldn't pass it in a straight line, there was people in the way, so he put some spin on the ball so then the ball would spin to the ref. He does that and the ref kicks him out for spinning the
What?
ball to the ref. Spinning the ball to the ref kicks him out of the game. I could not. And JJ's sitting there. He's like mind blown. He can't even believe it. He's like, and then he runs. I'm passing you the ball. Like, you want me to just leave the ball here? That might have got it. That might be worse than me passing you the ball. It was. I could not believe it.
Other Draymond Green one was like right after a jump ball, where
Mm-hmm.
they got into another jump ball and they called like a foul on Draymond
Well,
and he got
that
ejected.
was a real tough play because I think looking at it in like real time, I would have called that a jump ball again. Like seeing that ball kind of muffle around and then two people on, I would be like, yo, jump ball, we jumping again. But as you look at it, I don't know if they gave a timeout to the Celtics or I don't know what. I don't really know
They
what
gave a
happened.
timeout to the Hornets. I think it was the
The
Hornets.
Hornets, was that who they were?
Yeah, but nobody called the timeout, and they were like both on arms around the ball, and they just called a timeout.
Right. But if you look at it in slow mo, there's like, I don't know, half a second where Gordon Hayward gets the ball. Like he has it in his arms like a split second, and then immediately Draymond gets in, and then it's a jump ball. So in real time, you're like, oh, it's a jump ball. But looking back on it, you're like, oh, I guess he technically had possession like half a second before Draymond got there. So it should be. But and then the other day, Kawhi goes to the basket, and they called an offensive foul on a push off on Harden. That could have been the game. And like it's tough because we even experienced this. I experienced this in high school. I'll experience in uni. I know for show. You've experienced in club. Is just the difference in how refs ref. Like one game, a foul is I don't know, just a light brush on the arm, and then the next day it's a full smack, right? Like the game's never played the same way. And so I guess for us, it's not that bad. No, it's not really that deep. Whatever ref we get, it is what it is. But in these NBA games, it can change the outcome of games. Like if I guarantee you, if that push off that Kawhi had, if that's called all year, there's no way he does a push off there. But because he has no clue about whether it is or it isn't, he's just going with it because that's probably the first basketball instinct that comes into his head. But it ends up costing the game because the ref goes, "That's a foul." So I don't. I have no idea, man. It's. I guess it's a problem the NBA's got to deal with. And then also, this is the other things I was thinking about is the challenge, the NBA challenge. If you get it right, shouldn't you get the challenge again? Like if I challenge something in the NBA and I'm right, should I get my challenge back?
Well, theoretically, in other sports, yes, but then it comes, oh, that was a foul. I know it was a foul. I'm gonna challenge that. And so you just like I think what would happen is if coaches know that there's a foul, they're just gonna start throwing out challenges,
Right.
right?
Like
And
every play they
like
need a
this, like
challenge.
start throwing them out, right? If this is like an easy challenge that you can win, boom, throw it out,
Yeah.
right? Well, this the NBA challenge rule now has like a meaning of it. You know what I'm saying? Like you actually gotta like hold on to it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you use it and you like bang, I challenge that. And then it can change an outcome of a game where if you just start calling like challenges over and over and over and over and over again, it's like
I was thinking. I thought the same thing. I was like, well, if they get it back, then there's just be a million challenges, and then like reviews already take long enough as is. Like I don't know if you ever get this feeling, but when you're watching live TV and there's a review, they show like an angle on the TV, and you're like, oh, I can clearly see who that's off. But the refs, for some reason, it takes like 5 minutes for the refs to just see, oh, it's off that person, right?
well, part of me wonders if like the refs are seeing a different view,
I
right?
don't know why would they show him something else that's less optimal? Like
Well,
I
I
don't
have
get
no
that.
idea.
Right.
Maybe they do it for like dramatic purposes, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe they just like want to think it through a whole bunch for 5 minutes. I mean they're the professionals, but we're not. But it's like
I know. So then I was thinking, I was like, okay, so what could we do instead to have the challenge be better? And I thought, okay, well maybe you could time gate it. You get one challenge every 6 minutes or something. The other thing I was thinking of is maybe you get one in the first half and one in the second half, or different things like that. But I don't know. It's just kind of at the point where the challenge matters so much, but you could use it at so many points, but you don't want to use it because like this is it. So I've seen a couple times where they're like, okay, we're only going to use the challenge on things that involve points. That would be free throws, either getting us points or taking away points. So I don't know. It's a tough situation to be in for the league right now, where they got to just get all the refs on the same page. And then also today, actually in the Jazz game, Donovan Mitchell had a crazy travel. He took at least 5 or 6 steps. He did like a snatchback dribble, picks it up, pivots one way to pass it, moves both feet, moves another foot, and then steps back for three. Took like 6 steps or something like that. And the refs just completely missed it, and the Jazz get 3 free points because Donovan traveled. And so then I was like, do the refs not get like suspended or fined or anything for missed calls?
Well, but then I would say no, because then that definitely changes a whole bunch, right? Like, for example, if I miss, like, if LeBron is going out for a dunk, right,
Yeah.
and the one guy hits his arm, right, but they call it a block, are you really gonna find that? Right? Like, not like game with basketball is it's never about the refs. It's always about team versus team, right? And how well teams are able to adapt. Because if you're a team that can't adapt to certain situations, then you're not going to be a team regardless of the refs, right? Because
Yeah.
you have to adapt in game, you have to adapt to the other team, right? So, like, for NBA, and it's like commercial and all that, and it's like professional. I get I get if you want to have like less of that adapting, but it doesn't make that finding somebody for making a wrong call just makes no sense to me.
Or I guess even missed calls too, like just not seeing something. Like
That's like
like
finding
not seeing something.
somebody. That's like finding somebody for
I
missing
know.
a turn they're supposed to do on
I get
like
it's
missing like a turn on like when you're driving.
yeah, I
Right?
get it. That's such a tough like thing to kind of regulate. Like there's so much human error that goes into that you can't really penalize human error because that's just how human nature is. You can't really get too mad at that. The other thing I didn't realize today, or I guess when I was working at the bar on Sunday, is March Madness is happening. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't think it was happening, but it
Me,
totally is.
me neither. But I was it was like I forget what it was like I forget what game was on. It was like it was Duke and somebody was playing, and it was like a commercial went, and it was just like March Madness, and I'm like, what? And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I
I
mean, I
can't
guess
wait.
they do
March
it.
Madness will be dope. I need a lot. I need March Madness. That'll be a good time for me to kind of feel. I don't know. It won't. There won't be fans, so it's not gonna have the same March Madness atmosphere. But just to know that something big is going on in basketball will be real nice. I guess All Star game's coming up too.
It's nice to know that the world that we're taking a step in the right direction against this and
Finally,
opening
yeah,
back things
we're
up,
finally taking
right?
steps forward. We've been
Because like
taking
I was
steps backwards. Yeah.
the other day, it was like my dad was reading off like when everybody's gonna get the vaccine. Like they started figuring out, all right, we getting this amount of vaccines this time, so these are the people who are getting it. And I'm pretty sure that's kind of started. I think it's starting soon. I don't know if it's starting now. But people are starting to get vaccinated.
Yeah. People have
And
been getting vaccinated.
I think like in September, like students are gonna get vaccinated, which is good, right? Which is nice, right? So
I mean, I'm with you on that. I'm ready to take some steps forwards. Enough of this taking steps backwards. I'm real ready for us to move forward because I we talked about this in the last podcast for a little bit. Is people are gonna get tired of not getting back to what they want to do, and you don't want a point where people are a massive amount of people. Like I know there's people now who are define rules and stuff, but like the majority of your country
yeah.
is just tired of
Well,
just
yeah, like
not
no, but
moving forward.
nobody wants to say, right? I I think no, this we talked about this in the podcast that we did, but we didn't put out. And we were talking about like this next big open up, like what it means, right? This next big, like this
Yeah,
next like open like step, like this. Don't say step. This next step in going back to normal, what is called normal, like what does it
yeah.
mean? And I said that it's huge, right? If this next step goes well, right, and not a lot of vaccines happen, I mean, not a lot of cases happen, then we got the vaccines coming in, stuff
Yeah.
opening back up, right? But if we were to mess up, then they would probably shut us down for another month and a half or something,
Mm-hmm.
right? Maybe even 2 months, and then try the same step that we're on now, right?
Yeah.
But at that time, nobody's gonna want to stay in their house, right? People are gonna want to leave. Even now, like I'm at school and I see kids, take off their mask when they walk through the halls.
Yeah.
Like this is it's like in the middle of class, some kid's going to fill up their water bottle. He takes his mask off because his people are so done with it,
Yeah. I'm
right?
with you on that.
And
It's
then and then it's like create and like nobody's wanting to go, right? See their friends in like a park or something, and stand 6 feet away,
no.
right?
There's no
Or else
point
you
in
get
doing that.
fined. Or me and you can't be in the same car, or else we're gonna get fined, right? And so regardless, I think September things are opening back up, no matter what.
Yeah.
Like jobs opening back up, right? School is gonna be somewhat normal. I feel school might be the same, if but I doubt it. Like jobs opening back up, people on the streets, they're gonna be the same, right? That's like like malls are gonna be like back to normal. So like like
I don't know. It's been a crazy last couple months, but I don't know, man. Life's looking up. I finally get my mental health went down the drain without ball. These last it's been so long. I just was thinking about how long it's been since I actually been in the Jack. It's been a minute. Like it's been mid-November since I've been in the Jack. So I can't
it's
wait to
gonna
go
be
back to ball.
crazy. It's gonna be crazy for me going doing a tryout again because I haven't done a
Hell yeah.
tryout in a long time.
Yeah.
Right, probably a year and a half and something now. It's been the last time I did a tryout.
Yeah. It'll be a minute.
Right, so then and fast forward again, maybe another year, because what we're doing right now for spring isn't a tryout. It's not an actual tryout,
Yeah.
right?
Like
And so
there's no game.
yeah, we might play a game, like an actual game in the summer, right? But that's gonna be maybe 2 years without a tryout,
Hmm.
right? Which is crazy to think. And that next tryout is probably gonna be for senior basketball for me,
Yeah.
right?
It'll
But
be crazy.
that's just crazy.
We got to put some work in because you missed the entirety of junior basketball. You're going skipping junior basketball, going straight to senior.
I mean, you did that, but it's a
Hey, you
year of
can do it
basketball.
too. You can do it too. We'll put in some work. Teach the ins and out. You got anything else you want to touch on for this episode?
No, I mean, I hope I just know if we take another break like we do now, we either hella busy or we're working on another big thing,
Yeah.
right? And my guess is it's probably gonna be bigger than like a change in how we record it, right? It might be like a new logo, or we might have some like merchandise, right? Or we might, well, Aiden's moving out, please, but
Wait on that. Wait on that. We got a couple months for that
anyway,
still.
right, but we do get busy, so we're gonna try and get back to every week we do these podcasts. But
Yeah.
I got like 3 assignments due and one test in the same class this week,
Yeah.
right? I
I
got
got I got
so
I got midterms starting up, but we're good. We're back into it. We're back in our groove. We found an easy process. We got good work coming out, so you can keep us posted. We're not gonna leave you on another 4 week break. We'll hopefully have another episode out this upcoming weekend. But yeah, that's all I got for today. Remember, if you ever want anything you want us to talk about, if you'd love to be in the podcast, hit us up. We can try and work at a time, maybe sometime. But yeah, that's all I got. And thanks everyone for tuning into the Foul Language Podcast. Remember, you can watch this podcast on YouTube at the Foul Language Podcast, or always on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, anywhere you find podcasts. If it's not there, let us know and we'll get it on there. But we will see y'all next time. Deuces.
say